All right, and we're live. Hello, hello. Who wants to have some more abundance in 2024? If you guys been following me in my journey, you know that for the last 9 years, I've learned how to make money in the online space. And with that comes a lot of different challenges as you grow and become an entrepreneur. And you start to look at some things in your life and go, wow, I didn't realize that this was affecting me in that way. And it has to do with your relationships, your business, your money, anything that you're really doing. So I'm really excited to introduce to you two people I have partnered with. I don't know, I think for the last 4 months, we met at Faith Over Fear. We met at Ray Higdon's event, and I'll kind of share that story later. But really what we're going to get into is a topic that I think a lot of people maybe don't even know is available, and how we can heal our bodies and energy healing. And I'm not even going to try to understand it. I know that it works because ever since I have partnered with Emmanuel, when I need him and I'm having some challenges and I'm having some blocks and I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I just kind of let him know what's going on, and these things are released from me in my subconscious mind, as well as in my emotions and my emotional being. So thank you so much for being here and for doing this. I know it's so long overdue, and I'm so excited to have you guys and to just bring some awareness around this conversation.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us here. We're so grateful. And for anyone's tuning in, there's no coincidence why you're tuning in. I always say that coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous, So, yeah, thanks for having us on here. And if there's any type of value you'd like us to share, like, we're totally open. We're an open book. This is my amazing wife, Jess Cevallos. We work together in our wellness center here in St. George. And we just love helping people from all over the world. And so, we're just grateful to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. So grateful. So let's start from like the super beginning of how did you get into energy healing and all of the other things that I ignorantly don't even know, right? Like, share kind of your journey of what brought you here, and then the transition of how you've helped so many people and what that looks like for them.
You want to start? Okay, I'll start first. So I, back in 2015, I was an entrepreneur. I used to, work from home, like in these work from home businesses. I've been in multiple of them. And I was the guy in the back with my JCPenney suit, trying to figure out how this whole thing works. My finances weren't that great, but I was learning a lot, and the part that probably hurt me the most is when people would say, you just seem like someone who has such great potential. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to like see it at some point. But thank you for that. I don't know if that was a rub or I don't know what's going on there,
Totally.
but anyway, so that was back in 2015. Everything for me was upside down. My finances, my relationship at the time with my ex, just everything just wasn't going right. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Not sure if anyone has been there, but that's where I was back in 2015. And what's interesting is that, for some reason, Jeff Bezos from Amazon had an algorithm that somehow recommended the right book to me on Amazon. You know how it says books we recommend?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Emotion Code showed up for me. And if there's anybody that's skeptical, I'm probably the epitome of it, because both my mother and father are both hematologists and oncologists, so very heady people. However, my mother was an alternative sort of doctor with her oncologist. So she was like the future. She's like the rare breed, and she was smarter than my dad. Let's just be real here. She tutored him during UCLA
Women
medical. So, but anyway, she was into Chinese medicine. She was into acupuncture stuff. And I was kind of her little lab rat at home she would do work on. So that's kind of where I had a little glimpse about what energy medicine was about, but I didn't understand it. But then I read the Emotion Code book, and I thought it was honestly just a self-development book. I was like, hey, just another Think and Grow Rich, or, I don't know if you guys know people who read all the right books and go all the seminars, but they're not doing anything. Like, things are not working for them. And that was me. I was that person. And so anyways, I was like, well, here's another book that's probably not going to help me. And so, I was that negative. And so I just read it, and I was like, wow, this is about energy healing, removing emotions from your body, using magnets, using intentions. So I was like, this is a whole nother world that I'm not used to. And I must have picked it up multiple times, because I just, my heart, first of all, I had a heart wall. If anyone's taking notes, that's a word that will change your life. Is I had a heart wall. So even if someone came, like if an angel came into a room and told me my mission, I'd probably like reject it because I had this wall around my heart, and I felt very numb, you know. Anyway, I read the book. I became a practitioner, and basically time stopped. Like I don't know how to explain it, but as soon as my heart wall came down, time became like nothing to me, and I just started going into the flow of things. And I was like, this is my mission. Like, this is my passion. And I know it not only mentally. A lot of people, I have a lot of friends who are like very wealthy. They only mentally know that it's their mission, but they don't know through their heart that it's their mission. And when you combine both, there's this heart flow that comes, and you start enjoying and having more elation when you do what you're doing. And long story short, I started helping out clients, and I started helping people long distance. And I used to do what they call muscle testing. And so you probably have a chiropractor who pushes down on your arm and asks certain questions to your body. Like they might test food sensitivities or allergies, and they use your arm, or if there's something broken, they kind of check your arm. Well, I do that from long distance, and it's called non-locality. So what's interesting is that quantum physicists, they go, yeah, that totally makes sense what you're doing. The average person's like, how are you working with someone long distance, including myself? So I'd work with people, started lowering people's pain down. And I said, this is real. And so I went out there, and I was actually so traumatized from my last relationship. I had to even use what I was working with people on myself. And then I attracted this amazing soulmate here within 45 days of me working on myself. And I don't know how to explain it, but we're just soulmates, you know, and it's the greatest thing I've ever attracted my whole entire life, second to my relationship to God. And so energy healing has changed a lot of lives. Our practice became the highest 5-star rated practice in the world, using emotion code, body code work. I was working with about maybe 120 clients a week. So I was in the trenches, and still am helping people, but that's my story. And everything's been different since then, to be honest.
I love it. Jess, I want to hear your story.
Okay, my story.
Yes.
So I grew up kind of different from him. I did not know anything about energy healing, energy medicine, nothing of the sort, until probably about 6 years ago. I had a cranial sacral session. It was an incredible session. She used crystals. I have crystals in my hands now. Literally am obsessed. The second I had them in my hands, I couldn't put them down. I'm like, I don't know what these things are, but I need these.
Yeah.
So I had such a great session, though. Probably the most spiritual thing in my entire life experience, which is really, really cool. But then a year later, I met Emmanuel, and he introduced me to the emotion code and opened up my world to a whole new world of trapped emotions and different things that it can do to your body. And he cleared my heart wall. I had severe pain from a car accident that I was, you name the doctor, the specialist, I was seeing them to try and relieve this pain. Within 10 minutes, he was able to get it completely to go away, and it's never come back. And I didn't even understand. I was one of those people that are like, wait, you're like across the state. How are you working from over there? I didn't understand it at all, but I am such a believer in this work. And it's something you kind of have to try out to have your experience for yourself to understand like the amazing benefits and things like that it can do. So that's really what got me started into it. I became a practitioner very quickly after we met. And during the time, I kept getting this like feeling that like something else was coming my way. Just like, be patient, something else is coming, which that's a hard place to be in, because every day I'm like, what is it? What is it? Is it this? Is it this? And then the second that I was opened up to what's called frequencies, which 2 years ago, I didn't even know what those were. Like, I didn't even know that was even a thing. It's a different type of healing modality that you can use with listening to your own customized frequencies to help your body reduce anxiety or pain in the body, helps with sleep, so many different things like that. But we tried it, and our newborn baby had severe colic, and he was our first guinea pig with the frequencies.
Sure.
And they did a scan, same thing, long distance. You can be from a different place. They scanned our baby. At the time, we had tried like everything to help him with his colic, and it helped a little bit with the other things, but not quite completely. within his first scan, he was a completely baby that night, and colic never returned to him, thankfully.
Wow.
And so I again was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm such a believer in it, and that opened up my whole other world as well to just frequencies and just a different type of healing modality. So yeah.
I love that. And I'm so grateful that we met. And I'll share a little how Emmanuel and I met. We were at Faith Over Fear, and we were standing in front of a door just waiting for the next session. And I don't even know who started the conversation or what the question asked, but we just happened to have some things in common. And he was like, hey, I do like this thing. Do you want a free session? And I'm like, sure. Like, I don't know what we said, but obviously God put him in there. And I was like, I went to Faith Over Fear with like, God, I need like a pivot. I don't know what I need, but I need some help. And I love how we have the conversation of like for me, it's hustle versus flow, right? Like when you're hustling in your business, you're standing in the back of the room, you got the suit, you're reading the books, you're like, I'm full of potential. What's happening? Yeah. And then you learn how to flow and open your heart, and people are calling and money's coming in and clients are coming in and all of these things. And you're like, that's the difference. And I know a lot of logical people will say, you know, I'm in the zone, because they have to put a word to it. We have to label it logically, right? But that feeling is really what you guys are talking about working on, is like, yeah, you're in the zone, but where does that come from? Because it's not from working and hustling, trying to figure it out. That's normally where we start getting blocked. It's really opening our heart. I love this conversation now because I feel like the last 3 years have just been really challenging with health, with trust issues, with business, with finance, just the recession. Like a lot of people are in a lot of different places and they're really hurting and looking for answers and reading books. And they might have read them all and they're still like, but I'm missing something. And it's really both. It's the heart and the mind and the spirit, right? Depending on faith and religion and whatever you call your God, but it's all three of them working in harmony. And so I had a session, we sat at the table and he asked me some questions, and he had a crystal and he was muscle testing. And it was so incredible to watch, like not even as like the client patient that's like going through it, but watching him do his thing. I was like, this is the real deal. Like how much do you charge? Because I know I want more. I was bawling at the table, like no one was around. By this time, the doors are open, the venue's going on, like people are speaking, and I'm crying at the table as he's releasing all of these emotions. I'm getting chills right now because I'm like, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to help you get famous. Like you need to share this with the world, because I've read Dr. Joe Dispenza. I know his books. I've paid for his courses, but I've never experienced a transformation because I didn't sit next to him and go through all of these things. And so it's like, you're the next Dr. Joe Dispenza. Like you're like on that rising level of, now we're bringing in the new, you know, the new class, the new millennials. Like, how do we marry this? And especially, like you said, you were in business and entrepreneurship. And so what are you guys doing now? Like, first of all, I know you guys have a Facebook group. I joined it this morning, so accept me. Talk about how you're helping and what the future looks like for you guys. And I know you had a book. I don't know if you're done with your book, but share what's next for you guys and how we can continue to learn and grow and evolve in this process.
So first of all, I'm going to rewind a little bit. I do want to share just real quickly in like 2 minutes how the emotion code works, just so everyone here can be like, okay, that actually logically makes sense, you know, because I do want to kind of bring it down. So sometimes when we talk very 12D, it just goes over my head. I'm just like, let's just keep it simple, guys. Like, you know, and so Dr. Brad, actually, who lives 5 minutes away from us, he became good friends with me after probably my 12th month in my practice. And I've been studying under him, learning like just as a student. And I try to tell people like we've been doing this emotional processing our whole life, but sometimes we put kind of a different picture of what it looks like. And let me explain to you what this means. So Dr. Brad was a chiropractor. Many of you guys have gone to chiropractors. If you notice, they may help you and adjust you, but then sometimes a month later, guess what happens? The same thing comes up and you're like, that same area that he fixed, supposedly, you know? And he was kind of like tired of seeing that. He was like, so then later on, he's a kind of a prayerful man. So he would always pray in private before he meets with people. And he was just asking for help from above every time he met before a client. Like he did that consecutively, never missed that. And then he just started doing a different prayer, which is like, how do I help these people with chronic illnesses and chronic diseases? I'm only a chiropractor. What can I do? And he started getting these downloads of how our body really works. So all your organs and glands actually produce these emotional energies the size of a tennis ball to a cantaloupe, right? And for example, the liver produces anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment. The lung produces grief. Stomach produces anxiety. So people go, oh my gut, like when they get scared to go speak on stage, their stomach has issues and they're feeling anxiety because their stomach is producing anxiety. You see, and so when people drink too much alcohol and too much caffeine, watch how they can go from 1 to 10, 1 to 100 really quickly with anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment, because their liver is working extra hard, to filter things out. So throughout the day, we're feeling emotions, and these energies are coming out of our body and processing through our skin until it leaves our skin, and now we're not feeling it anymore. So many of you guys probably have, if you've ever had like a sort of an anger or a rage moment, or you ever felt like you were crying and you just couldn't stop, but then all of a sudden it's weird. It's almost like your body has like a little time clock and it says stop crying, and like your waterworks kind of stop, and you're like, oh, I can't cry anymore, even if I tried. See, because that's a crying trapped emotion leaving your body. And once it leaves your body, it's like your body's like, I'm over it. I don't need to cry, So we're doing this throughout the day, and we're like crossing our fingers that these emotions don't get stuck like halfway through your skin. But then sometimes they do. When they're over condensed, just strong emotion, sometimes they don't process properly and they get stuck. And that's called the trapped emotion. You see, I'll give you a really good example. There's a lady named Dana Reeve, and I'm kind of dating myself now. So, but Dana Reeve is Christopher Reeve's wife, right? Christopher Reeve is my definition, the real Superman. But that's a whole nother seminar. We don't talk about that. But anyway, he was a very handsome, good-looking young actor, very athletic. I mean, he had an amazing actor career ahead of him, and so basically what happened was he got into that accident, where the horse and everything like that. And Dana Reeve didn't marry the paraplegic. She married this amazing actor that had this amazing future. And all of a sudden she died of lung cancer very, very quickly. Now, the doctors in the Western world were like, how did this person pass away with lung cancer? She doesn't smoke. None of her family smokes. There's no lung cancer in the family. There's no cancer in the family. So literally in the Western world, they're like, makes no sense why you died of lung cancer. But if you look in the body code, the lungs produce grief. And so if you're grieving a lot, these trapped emotions aren't processing properly. If they get stuck in the body, they irritate the tissues, which then can create disease, which then can create cancer. So trapped emotions have like 3 number one is they irritate the body, the tissues. So you probably maybe have friends that have rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. A lot of doctors have no idea why they have that pain. Just say, hey, take this medicine. We have no idea why you have that. But if you realize if you have a lot of trapped emotions, a ton of things could be irritating the person's body, but they just can't see it. But it doesn't mean it's not happening in their body. So I've helped a lot of people with those symptoms, and now they have like almost 0 to nothing in regards to pain.
Wow.
And so number 2 is it could make you have multiple physical symptoms, like headaches, or you're tired all the time, or also emotional stuff too, like depression, anxiety, PTSD, bipolar symptoms, ADHD. A lot of mental stuff could be literally 80% of it could be trapped emotions that are stuck in parts of the brain or different parts of the body. And the last thing I want to share is that it can also make you very reactive. I think the number one reason why I've probably have not had better outcomes in my life is due to reactivity. Yeah. I just give you guys the biggest golden nugget of all time. Honestly, try to look up a Tony Robbins book when you're being reactive to your husband or to your wife. It's really hard because your body takes over. It's like Jekyll is too strong that you can't even read the book, And so the more you do this type of work, your reactivity becomes less. Instead of swimming in depression, drowning in depression, you tread on depression. Depression is not bad. Our body produces it, but it's only just a signal. It should stay. and then just jump out of it. But the body doesn't allow us. If we have a lot of depression, trapped emotions, we start sinking in it. You see, and so that's kind of an overview of kind of how the emotion code works. Just recently, I got certified in group energy healing. I didn't know this was possible, but I got certified in it, and now our group has over, I think, 120 plus testimonials in it. And what I do is I basically activate a room at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it runs all the way to 5 p.m. And this uses multiple modalities outside of what I do. And the cool best part about it is that you don't have to be present with me. You know, so again, we're about to get real Star Trekky out there, because this is going to be like, how is that possible? So you, as a busy person who are an entrepreneur, you don't have to show up to get the healing. You just have to sign up, and then all of a sudden you're in this room, and I'm helping you from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 7 days straight. And there's something that happens when a tribe gets together, or when a group of people come together. Even the scriptures, it says where 2 or 3 gather together in my name. It talks about how there's just more power, you know. And so you actually go deeper into your symptoms and the reasons why you have them when a bunch of people are kind of beating at the same drum. And so we've been having 40 to 50 to 60 people in this room, and there's multiple modalities helping them out. And then my wife, she's this amazing person. She's sending these frequencies to the group as well to help you process your emotions. So we actually coined it. It's called multi-layered healing. And we created a social media platform. It's called haveempathyandlove.com, which stands for heal. So heal stands for have empathy.
Okay.
Okay. And if you go on there, it's a free platform. It's like Facebook, but it's for people who love the holistic lifestyle and who never want to be banned for giving good advice. because everybody in COVID, you know, all my doctor friends and wellness friends, they came back, they're like, hey, I'm back from jail, like Facebook jail. And all they were doing was giving good advice on how to get rid of COVID symptoms and different things like that, you know? But then I wanted to make a platform that was free for everyone. You can learn from other practitioners. And then every week I'd be doing a healing, and you can opt in, or you don't have to opt in. You can just enjoy the platform yourself. So that's kind of what we're doing. And this coming week, I know that one of the reasons why we're talking is that we wanted to bring like the Avengers to you guys. And so we brought someone who does breath work, detox. I don't know if you've ever done breath work before, but her and I, we went to someone's house and experienced this amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it was a very, very deep healing that we received, connected with our inner child. And we're like, we need you to help heal people out.
Yeah.
So every day there's a different Zoom call with either an entrepreneur or an energy healer, and they're going to be doing healing to a group while you're still receiving healing from me, and you're receiving frequencies from her. So, I mean, you're like accelerated in your speed. Yeah. And so this week we're doing abundance magnetism and wealth accumulation. So if you need a kind of a bump or a boost for your finances, this is the week that we're going to do it. So we're just really excited about it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love that. And I have the link. I was going to share it, but it's got like the numbers and stuff. So for anyone who's watching on the multiple platforms, and we'll send it out on through the email, then we'll give you guys the link and then the platform. Are these things free for them, or is there a charge for them?
It's free. It's free to join the platform. It's free.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they want to come into the group for the week, it is $99 for
$99. Okay.
Yep. For 70, so for the 7 day.
I was trying to do the math on that. It's almost like $14 a day.
Yeah.
And like I said, the top 3 rooms that we have are abundance, because it's tangible. You know, I know. You've even seen shifts with people coming to you, or referrals calling all of a sudden. You're like, what a coincidence. Oh, wait a minute. I had a healing 2 days ago with Emmanuel. Yeah. So I have like multi. There's this one guy that makes $30 million a month, and he hires me to work on him because some people, it's kind of funny. They need to have joy in their abundance. Some of them still have scarcity mindset, even though they make 30 million a month, you know? Yeah. And then other people are like, hey, I'd like to go from 6 to 7 figures, but I don't know what's blocking me, you know? And so that's where I come in to help out. And people see amazing results. So with that room, we see a lot of positive testimonials that come out of it, because that's tangible. It's like money coming in your bank. A couple people become your clients. It's like you can literally physically see it, you know?
Yeah. $30 million is hard to wrap my head around, but I'll tell you, for me personally, the money stops when I stop having fun, when it starts feeling like work. And
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people that didn't start out as an entrepreneur, they started as an employee, which is kind of my audience. So it's kind of why I'm staying here for just a second. Then you're trained or taught that you're trading your time for money, and
Yeah.
you're not in a passionate environment, right? It might be some toxic bosses and employees. And I know these are a lot of my clients that have kind of this challenge. And for me personally, it's like when I'm hustling, then it's like I'm not having fun. I'm looking. It's like I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. But then when I'm like, oh, that's right. I just need a session. I just need to relax. And then it is a download. You don't realize it, right? The logical brain is going to say you get an idea and you follow that idea into the end zone and you start to create abundance or whatever. But for me, it's like I have to back up and I have to get back into my kids. I need to start having fun. I need to see like the joy in the small things. And then that's when God's like, okay, you're back to being a little kid again. Let's go build a business or whatever. It's that flow,
I totally agree. I know even my wife, she sometimes secretly sends these, what they call Cepheid frequencies to us. And it's really cool. It's like they used to send these frequencies out to astronauts in space to like preserve them when they were up there, like if they were having anxiety or stomach issues. And she was just sending them to me. And I was just feeling calm and relaxed in my room. And it was just almost like I didn't even do anything different that day. But I'm like, honey, we've had like the biggest day in regards to client recruitment. Like, what's going on? She's like, oh, I forgot to tell you. I was sending frequencies to you in my office. Yeah, I know. So it's kind of fun how that works. And like I said, at the end of the day, what we really want is we don't want scarcity mindset. We want like abundance mindset. When you become less reactive, let's just say this: your body is looking to always feel safe. Okay.
Yeah.
Some of us have negative money beliefs where it's like, if I become wealthy, I'll become a bad person. Like I know a few that have been that way, or if I become wealthy, I'm probably going to sacrifice not spending time with my kids anymore. See, so those negative core beliefs are telling your body it's not safe to be abundant. So you're working and doing stuff, but your body's energy will block the money because like, no, you really don't want that because you believe this and it'll actually happen that way. But that's where I come in. I go, let's just reverse that negative belief to be like, no, wealthy people are good. And good people become great when they are receiving income. I always say money is a magnifying glass. It makes good people better, bad people worse. And I really believe that if you just have the right core beliefs and your body believes it, and the negative core beliefs that we stop believing in, that all of a sudden abundance comes naturally through your windows. And you're like, I don't know where this money is coming from all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing the same action, but I'm receiving more of the results. And that's kind of what we want. We want people to just enjoy their life more,
Yeah. Wow, it's so perfect. And it's such a great, like, into 2024. Let's bring abundance. Let's clear the fear, like faith over fear. Let's get into, working together. It takes a village. It takes a village to raise kids. It takes a village to build a business. Last question for you guys. Do you guys have a physical wellness center or just, are you doing out of your home? What does that look like?
Right now, it's just out of our house.
Okay.
It's kind of a virtual thing, but we definitely want to be opening up
that's one of our goals.
Physical.
Okay.
Here in St. George.
Yeah, but that makes it very convenient for you. Like if you noticed, you've received actually the VIP treatment because I was sitting next to you, so you like saw me do it live. I think I might have even made that comment. I'm like, you're getting the VIP treatment. No client really gets this,
So
but now it's like it's so powerful that I meet with about maybe 15 clients a day. And all my assistant does is just reach out to them a day before and say, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And then they just kind of write a little list. And then I'm on it. I'm just like, okay, where does your higher self want to go? And I do a session. I send them voice notes. And if I told you guys what my email looks like, it's like I wake up every day pinching myself. It's just like, you're not going to believe this. My shoulders doesn't hurt anymore. Or my cat is doing better. And I made more money. And it's like, that's just my regular email. I just refresh. And it's just, to me, it's still mind blowing. Even after 9 years of doing this, I'm still just excited for people and what they deserve. Because I feel like I wish I would have had that when I was younger. I wish I would have had that when I was a kid and my parents thought I was depressed and they took me to a psychologist. It's like, energy healer would have really helped me out, So yeah. I think that's where my drive comes from. It's like this drive of like, I don't want anyone to suffer the way I did when I was a kid. And so I get like, it's kind of a funny thing. I've never mentioned this before in a live before, but it's almost like every form of negativity in my mind is like a bully in some ways, like the government bullying you, money is bullying you, and I'm like the guy that like hates bullying, and I just kind of like say, hey, stop bullying her, or stop bullying yourself. Even I have a lot of clients that are very self-abusive. I say, stop bullying yourself, and then all of a sudden life just starts happening for them once they just get their energies right. So I always say that your inner universe changes your outer universe, is what I always say.
Yeah, that's so true. And, it's interesting because I know you've talked about working with kids, and I know I watch like, oh, my son's not feeling good, and so I'm doing this and this. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish we were neighbors. Like my daughter, the other night we were driving and she just started bawling, like 2 nights, just crying her eyes out. And I was like, baby, what's wrong? And she's like, I just feel like something bad's going to happen. And I was like, okay, well, what are you thinking about? And she couldn't put words to it. So not that I'm asking for a session, but you guys do work with children, or because you can work through my daughter and through my husband, through me, right? So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So with Emmanuel, with his work, he just needs basically, if they're 18 or above, that he needs permission from that person. But if they're under 18, then the kids don't even need to know that anything's going on. Even it sounds crazy, but even with pets, like he's been able to help many pets before with some crazy stories.
Which is cool because, a lot of people will say what we're doing is some placebo effect. Like it's a bad thing, first of all. But that's how it proves it's not a placebo effect. Is
kids don't even know that it's happening to them, and they're changing better, or dogs are all of a sudden walking that had like almost like a broken leg. So it's kind of cool.
I'm working right now with this autistic child, and the mother's so smart. She's like, I'm buying a package and you're working on my family every single week. I was like, smart mama bear. And so
I love when that happens. I always like thank the mom. I'm like, thanks for doing this to your kids, because it's going to help them so much when they get married, that they're not going to have to deal with this baggage of things and a lot of times things can even be like absorbed or inherited. So sometimes it's like not even your own things that you've held on to. It's something you've inherited from an ancestor, a grandma or grandpa. So it's going to be so helpful to them to start their life off without these random things that they don't even
know where it comes from. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's and we've had that conversation of things that have transferred from generations above that I don't even know, but I'm carrying it around like a badge of honor, and it's affecting relationships and how we communicate with each other and all these different things. So, I just made a mental note. I have a girlfriend that has a dog that's 14, and I had introduced you to her already. So I'm going to tag her in this video and be like, hey, look, dogs too. This is so incredible. So I just want to thank you both. For showing up, for being here, for leading such an incredible journey on a topic that I just am so passionate about, even though I don't necessarily know it. I know the transformation I've had since meeting you. I know, like, I was like, I want to give my mom a session. I want to give my husband a session. Like, how many more? Let's buy some more sessions, because I love the idea of just being open to the idea. I don't have to understand it. I don't know how electricity works, but I turn my light on and it turns on. I don't have to understand everything about it, but I can bring awareness to a topic of so many people that are hurting and are logically looking for the answer. And I know from my personal experience, it's the heart wall that's blocked because we're thinking so hard and we're blocking the feeling because we're worried about being hurt. We've been hurt in the past, all those things, and it's both coming together. So thank you both for what you guys are doing, for the value that you bring to the marketplace. I will get everyone the information on the platform, and if they want to do the Facebook group 7-day next week, that sounds amazing. Really quick, can you just go into that part of it? Because I'm going to do it. So is it time specific? Are they Zooms? Do I got to show up? Is that kind of the community thing? Like, just speak on that real quick.
Okay, so this is my arena here. So what we're doing is, it's called like 7 days of multi-layered healing, right? So long story short is, you join the platform, you'll probably see that like I've announced it to everyone on the platform that like, hey guys, this is happening starting on next Sunday, and it goes all the way to Saturday. Okay. Now, once you join, this is a little kind of a very key thing too. There is an app to get to. It's called Mighty Network. So that's kind of, if you want easier access to our platform, just log in there once, and then you never have to put in your login again. It's a lot faster to get in there. However, though, is that if you do want to purchase the $99, you can't do it on the app. It has to be on the online version. So just in case.
Okay.
So once you go on there, it's really easy. Actually, there's a welcome post that I made, so it's featured. It's like going on Facebook. There's pinned posts. Go on there on the pinned post. It'll say, "Hey, welcome guys. If you're new here, tell me a little bit about yourself," and then write down 2 to 3 intentions that you have that you want to get from this week. So I'm saying in the positive and present tense. So I'm so happy and grateful that I make $2,000 a week in my business. That's one. I'm so happy and grateful that I can manage my time better with my family and making income. That's 2. So just do like 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll be reading all of them. Like on Sunday, I just kind of read all of them just to see what people are, their intentions are, and then that's it. Honestly, from then on, even if you just never went on the whole entire 7 days, you would still be in the room getting healing because your intentions are in there. Now, if you want to get the most out of it, there's the Zoom calls that they're going to announce one night before when they're going to do it the next day. If they're going to record it, if you can't make it live on that Zoom call, then you can get the pre-recording of it. So you'll never miss it. You'll never miss a call.
Perfect. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here and for doing this. And thank you to our watchers who are watching and learning about energy healing. If you have any questions, I did tag Emmanuel into this post, which will stay pinned for 1 week through the 7 days. So you can message him directly. You can comment below, whatever. We'll work together, make sure that we get your questions answered and get you healed and into abundance into 2024. So we can do some incredible things together. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Talk soon.